everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kassiah and this is SiahSwag, and I have a brand new tutorial today. It is a pattern from AllSewPetite. It caught my eye quite a while ago and I've been dying to make it. It is the Penelope backpack. It is so cute. You guys are gonna absolutely love this pattern. I mean, I love it. So this is my practice one. This is the one we do in the tutorial. They're both gorgeous. They're both adorable. All of the materials, I think, in both of these are from Tulip Bee. All the hardware is provided by me and the thread as well. So let's go over this. So this is my first make, love. Quilted both of them. I just thought the quilted look looks so good on this. It's got this front pocket here. It goes all the way through. It's a big, nice, roomy front pocket. So it ends up here. It goes all the way through. But the best part of this bag, I don't know if you can see it because this is black material. Doesn't show up as well on camera. It is this awesome divided lining. It's got two sections here. In the middle is a zipper pocket. And then you also have a zipper pocket here. It is the coolest lining I have seen in a long time. I love it. It is a drop-in lining. It was easy on my cylinder arm. It might be a little bit more challenging on a flatbed, but totally doable. Super cute in the back. You could add another pocket on the back if you really wanted to. So the connectors in the pattern are done down here. I prefer my connectors on the side. So the one I did in the tutorial, I put some connectors on the side. Both work, both are cute, totally up to you which way you want to do it. Okay, so the one we do in the tutorial today is this mama right here. I just love the way it turned out. So this one, I did the connectors on the side here. This is the same way we do the connectors on the Siah Sidekick from Lynn's Handmade. It's probably my favorite way to put on some connectors. So I did it a little bit different. I like this way. Again, you could do either way. It's totally doable. I did a double-sided strap, half webbing, half vinyl. Quilted it all again. Foam, Decaville heavy in the base, Decaville light in the flap. So you have your pocket that goes all the way through. And then this gorgeous, gorgeous lining. You guys. Look how cool that is. And it's all one piece. Like this middle pocket divider, there's no gaps in it. It goes all the way down. It is a full 2 sections. There's no holes. Your stuff isn't going to fall in under the pocket. It's kind of amazing. And then you've got your zipper pocket here. And then you've got your other zipper pocket here. I would say this is not so much beginner friendly, but very doable. Just take your time, like I always say on every pattern. Go slow. You can do it. I'll put this one on so you guys can see how it looks. Isn't she cute? I am obsessed. I'm kind of obsessed. All right. That is everything you need to know. We are going to go through it step by step. Pretty much follow the pattern page by page, so you should be able to follow along. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, comments. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. I would really appreciate that. That's super helpful for me. I would like to thank a 23-month Patreon member, Sherry McCurdy. My sweet, sweet friend, Sherry. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon and all the things we do over there. I really appreciate it. We are doing a Johnny B sew along right now and it's super fun, so go check it out. I will link everything I used in these bags down below in the description, along with the link for the pattern and all that kind of good stuff. So you should be able to find it easy. All right, let's make this cute backpack. Okay, let's go over the items that we need for this bag. I have them all prepped and ready to go. I'm doing the straps a little bit differently. I'm doing a double-sided strap. So I do one side with webbing, one side with vinyl. It's all 1 inch wide. So I cut my vinyl to 2 inches wide, and then I fold my raw edges in and lay it on top of the webbing and top stitch. So I did that for my handle and for my backpack straps. It's pretty easy. I'm going to do my connectors a little bit differently. I like them kind of hanging off the side instead of the bottom. So I'm doing these triangle style connectors. It's a square cut in half. I think this is a 4x4 square and I have a 3x3. I wasn't sure how big I wanted to make those. So I'm going to try that for this bag. All right, so I have my base piece all ready to go. Top stitched my Decaville Heavy on there. Pretty easy. You could add purse feet on this. I think it would be cute with purse feet. I have my flap K pieces. I have my exterior and I have some Decaville light on it. And I did do a piece of Decaville Heavy down here by where the thumb lock is going. I like to add a little bit extra for the screws to kind of grab into when I put that all together. So I do it beforehand. And I have my bonded poly, which is Smoothie Smooth from Tulip Bee. My vinyl is Tulip Bee. I think everything in here for material of bag is Tulip Bee. My side pieces, my side panel eye pieces, I have 2 of those quilted with foam out of my seam allowances. My back trim E-piece, I have Decaville Light on that because it's kind of too small to quilt, but I still want it to have a little bit of stabilizing, structure to it. So I did do some light out of the seam allowances. My back D piece, exterior quilted, foam out of the seam allowance. My front A piece, you have lining and exterior quilted, foam out of the seam allowance. My lining pieces, well, wait, this is my front too. The pocket trim piece. See, you need 2 of those and they need to be mirrored. Okay, they have a slight curve and difference in shape. So make sure that you know which way is which and that you mirror those. All of my lining type pieces, I have my front lining and back lining piece R. I have 2 of those. And my little facing, my zipper overlay, I guess, not facing, my zipper overlay cut out. Ready to go. My divider S pieces, I have 2 of those. They've got this like funky little cutout. This is for that divider pocket in the middle. All right, which is super cool. Don't leave this part out because it is such a cool backpack with that divider pocket in the middle. I absolutely love it. My front pocket B, 1 of those. I'm going to keep these all attached so I know what's what. My divider pocket, 2 of those. Okay, and they've got that little like notch on the top there. Divider pocket. And then my zipper pocket in, you should have 2 of those as well. 2. And then zipper tabs. I have 2 zipper tabs. So those are all of my actual materials. And then hardware, you need a thumb lock. You can do a turn lock. You can do a magnetic lock, whatever kind of lock you want. I really like the thumb lock on this bag. I have some extra webbing for my connectors, the way I'm doing it. My zipper tape. And then all my hardware here, I have 4 zipper pulls. I think that's correct. 4 zipper pulls. I have my backpack strap. I'm doing swivel clips with them because I'm attaching them to, I think that's how she does it on the regular one too, actually. Yeah, swivel clips. So 2 swivel clips, 2 adjusters. And then here are I'm doing these little triangle connectors instead of D-rings. You could use either or. And I'll grab my name plate, my name tag. And I think that's all of our pieces for this bag. And let's get going. So to start, go ahead and do the markings that she has you doing. We're gonna start with our lining. We put our complete lining together first before we do our exterior. So I have my 2 main lining pieces. These are my front and back lining R. Marked my drop-in line and did some tape on there because I can't really press this. And then these are my divider pocket S pieces that has that little notch in the middle there. Same thing, did my line and did some tape. All right. I'm going to put those aside, and we're just going to put a pocket, a zipper pocket, onto one of our lining pieces. So I have my markings for my center and how far down to go. And so I'm just going to center my overlay here. I'm just marking the center of that so I can line it up. And we are going to attach this overlay and sew this on. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to stitch all around the outside edge of this overlay first, and I will be pulling my threads through and turning it because, or not turning it, pulling them through and tying them because I don't want the double stitch. Oh my goodness, I can't find my words today. I don't want the back stitch to show. So I will just start by stitching forward, and I will show you how I grab those threads and pull them through. If I don't have contrasting thread on an overlay like this, then I don't worry about it and I just back stitch. But when I have the contrasting thread, it just makes it look nicer if you pull those threads through and tie them. So I like to stop about right here and pull these first two through because it gets kind of confusing when all four of them are at the end. So if you just give that back thread just a tiny little tug, it pops a loop through, and that's your top thread, and you just pull that back. So now both of my threads are in the back. And she actually puts on all the pieces of her pocket the way that I like to do it. So here's to that. I won't be changing that up much. All right, and then I'm going to make sure that this last stitch lands right where that first stitch started. Lift up my foot, kind of line up my needle, and I'll put it through. Okay. Pull that, and I like to hold on to these two so I know which one to kind of give a little tug when I get to the back. So it's this one. Okay, so I'm going to give that a little nudge there and then pull that through. Beautiful. And then all of my threads are right here in the back, and I will tie those off. And I just tie them all together. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. As long as they're snug and not going to go anywhere. I do a lot of knots, probably too many. Can't hurt. Okay, and then trim that off. So that's what it looks like from the back. That's what it looks like from the front. Now you want to cut out this middle section. So just be careful not to cut your overlay when you're doing this. I like to cut it from the back so I can see how much I'm cutting away. You just need to cut it away enough that it's not showing from the front. Beautiful. Then it should look like that. I have a double-sided tape, top and bottom of the right side of my zipper, and on one top side, right side of my lining pieces. Instead of basting, I use tape. So it's up to you. You can totally baste if you want to. I find the tape super helpful. So I like to put it on first with my zipper going to the right because of the way I place it into my lining piece. When we're done, it'll be facing the right way. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to take my lining piece and I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to take this top piece of tape off so I can stick it on so it's the top of this piece, but we're going to be sewing the bottom section of this overlay, okay? So you want to get it centered on there and get that placed evenly. I find it's easier to work with just one side at a time, which is why I like to do it this way. I'm not fighting both of my linings, okay? So when it's in there and you turn it around, this is going to be closing to the left, right? That's how I kind of like to place it. And then I just double check, make sure that it's centered. It looks good. So now I'm going to start just before the cutout here on this bottom edge. And I'm going to sew from here down to here, stopping like one stitch past. And I will pull my threads through and tie them. So that's what it looks like after your first stitch, here to here. Flip it over, I'm going to pull through and tie them. Okay, so I like to put a little piece of tape. Ooh, just finished a roll of my tape. All done. Down right below it, so when I push that pocket down and out of the way, it stays. Maybe. So I'm going to fold that down, just like that. And then I'm going to place the top part of my overlay onto my zipper before I put the lining on. So I'm just going to take this top piece off here. And then just secure that in place. So that looks good. And then I'm going to place my zipper pocket piece on the top part of my zipper, right side down. So you want the right sides of your linings to be facing each other. Okay, so along the top, just like that. It's a little bit off, but it'll be okay. All right, so now I want to finish off my box. I'm going to start right there, put my needle down where that one ended, come up, across, and back down right where that one is. looks good. Now I'm going to pull them through. Beautiful. All right, so now I want to close up this zipper pocket. I'm going to trim this down so it's even. We don't need to leave it open. This is going to be a drop-in lining in the end, so no need to leave any pockets open. So I like to come from here and go down and around. Pocket's all done. You can trim it down a little bit. Mine's a little bit goes over. I'm just going to trim. You just don't want this getting into your side seams. I think I have plenty of clearance, but we'll just err on the side of being safe here. And then whenever you trim your zipper, you want to melt that cut edge there. Okay. Beautiful. All right, there's my zipper pocket. Let's move on. Okay, we're going to work on our divider pocket now. So I have my zipper cut to the length. I've got my 2 zipper tabs, so my raw edges are folded into the middle. I just taped mine since I'm using kind of a bonded poly, not easy to iron, you know. And then I'm just going to encase my zipper and top stitch on both ends of the zipper. Easy peasy. Just like a lot. And I will top stitch that on. And the tabs are a little bit longer than your zipper, so you can just trim those down, okay? Make sure you got both sides. It looks good. Go to the next. Beautiful. All right, after you have your zipper, you want to take your lining piece. So one of these divider lining pieces, it's got the little notches right here, and you're going to put it facing up, centered. So I do need to mark my center. I'm just going to do the tiniest of clips, nothing big, very tiny. You could use a pen to mark too if you wanted to. I'm just doing this so I can make sure I get it nice and centered on my piece. Okay. And I am just going to put down some tape. And then you want the zipper right side up. Your pole is facing towards the left, and we are going to center that right there. Beautiful. And then I want to get one of my divider lining pieces. That looks like this. I am going to clip my center real quick because I didn't do that before. Always helps. And now we're going to lay it down. Okay. And I am going to tape it again. It's just in place of basting. It's easy. All right side down, center's lined up along that edge. Okay. And then I'm pretty sure I need a 3/8 seam allowance, so I am going to use a zipper foot. She says 5/16. Which is pretty much she wants you sewing right at this edge. Let me see what that is real quick. That's about a quarter. I can get that without a zipper foot. I think I'll be okay. Well, let's try it. So you want to start at the edge of your tab here. Move my zipper out of the way. So I'm going to show you. I didn't sew on this little cutout here on either side. I started right above it and went across, so it caught that lining right there. All right, so now you want to top stitch. You're going to flip your pocket up and your zipper up, okay? And I'm going to top stitch at the beginning of my tab to the end. So my seam allowance is going down. Okay, so that's the first part. And now we're going to repeat with the other side of our zipper. Okay, so that's going to go down in there like that. So now I want to repeat for this side of the zipper. I'm going to get my lining. Centered. And you want to lay it with it right side up. Okay, I'm going to get some tape. This pocket is really cool how it comes together. You guys are going to be like, whoa, that's awesome. Such a cool pocket for a bag. All right. Just like that. Center that on there. There. Okay, so your lining is facing up, your zipper is facing up, and then I'm going to sandwich the other divider pocket on top. Put my center. right side down. So your right sides are facing each other on these big pockets. Okay. And now again, we're going to sew along there. And I am going to move my zipper down out of my way. All right. Whoops, it came off. Don't move. So starting where that zipper tab is where you start stitching. Move my zipper. All right, looks good. So that's what that looks like now. Now I want to top stitch again. So this gets flipped up along with all of this. This is going to be out of your way and you're just top stitching along the zipper, okay? So my lining pieces and everything get flipped up out of the way and I'm just top stitching along the zipper tab and the zipper. All right, so far, we're all connected here. All right, so I have my two divider main panel pieces, and then I have my two zipper pocket lining pieces here. I want to now close this up. So I'm going to take these two pieces here, these two lining pieces, and I'm going to sew those up. You should be able to pretty much do the whole thing if you didn't get this connected. If somehow this little top edge piece got sewn into here, it's not the end of the world. Just sew it up as far as you can, okay? It's not a do or die. You don't have to undo it, but just try to close it up as best you can. And you are closing up the entire thing. Okay, so just this pocket now. Should be able to kind of get this other piece out of your way, maybe. Yeah. Easier to come at it from this direction too to close it up, so I may go back over there. Beautiful. All right, you can trim that seam allowance down just a little bit too. Doesn't need to be so big. I'm going to come at it this way to get it just a little bit better here. Up at that top edge. Much better. All right. Beautiful. All right, so that's what we got. You got your pocket all closed up in there. Very cool. And now we're going to attach the other two pieces of the lining to it. All right, so now we're going to add our front and back lining pieces to this divided pocket. So we want our centers marked. I've got my zipper pocket, so I want to actually start on this side. You want your zippers running the same direction. Okay, make sure your zippers are running the same direction. I marked my starting and stopping point is a 3/8 inch in from the edge. So I marked that along this zipper pocket lining piece. I'm going to line those centers up and we are going to sew these two at the bottom together. Okay, so I'm going to start at that marking. Okay, yeah, I'm just making sure my seam allowances are correct. And then I'm going to stop at this other marking. Beautiful. All right, so I started here, ended here. You want to take some scissors and you're going to snip up on the divider side, not the lining side, the divider pocket side, up to that where you ended right there. Okay, right there. That's going to help it curve up as we piece it together. So same thing right there on your divider piece. All right. Okay, so now we want to piece these together. I want to piece this and this piece. So I'm going to come here and line up the top. We're going to clip it down. And then I am going to have to do some snips along here. Okay. Along which piece? I always forget. Along this piece. Along your lining piece. Nothing big. Little 1/8 to 1/4 inch snips there. Because it's got like a little curve on your divider piece. So what you're doing is you're fitting these two pieces together. Now, this is your lining. It will not show if there's the tiniest little pucker down here in the corner. So if that happens, it's okay. Love puckers are okay on the lining. That's what we say. So essentially you're putting this divider pocket piece and your lining piece together like this, and it's causing that curve, which is going to sit in your bag nice. All right, so I'm going to sew this side first, and then we'll clip together the second side. All right. I usually do it the other way up, but that's okay. And then you're just meeting those stitches down right here at the bottom where you stopped. Okay, those should line up. That's what it looks like when it's sewn together, because it will lay out nicely when you're done. Oops, sorry. Hit the camera. Okay, so now we want to do that to this other side as well. And then we'll repeat all those steps for the other side of the divider pocket. And then your lining will be done. Isn't that cool? It's a really cool lining, you guys. Trust me. It took me a second to get it the first time, and then I was like, oh, that's cool. It was one of those. All right, so we are going to, I'm going to start down at the bottom for this one. Okay, I'm starting where those other stitches stopped, right there. Beautiful. All right, so as you can see now, that's one big pocket, right? And that's going to be your lining. That's so cool. So you got this, your divider pocket, and then we'll have another one here. All right, so now I'm going to attach this side. Here's my lining. I don't know if I clipped my centers. I don't know if I need the top center, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then my bottom center. And then we'll do our starting and stopping marks and attach it the same way. Okay, here we go. All right, do your little snips. Okay. Snip into the lining side, not the divider pocket side, the lining side, okay? And then that'll help it lay on that curve. All right, let's sew this side on first. There we go. Mine is definitely not perfect on this side, but that's okay. Okay, our last side right here, we're connecting. Okay, here we go. Awesome. All right, I'm just going to do a tiny bit of trimming. I don't need all of this. Okay, let me see if I can like show you how cool this is. Okay, so here's my lining. And we'll be folding this all down so it's a drop-in, right? But the lining goes into the bag like this. And so you have your two sides in your divider pocket. Is that so awesome? I love this lining. All right, we're done with the lining. We're gonna move on to the exterior. Okay, we're gonna move on to outside pieces. I've got my flap pieces. You should have a lining and an exterior. Again, I have Decaville Light. I have some heavy right there for my thumb lock. Okay, we're gonna put them right sides together and very easy. We're just gonna sew this all around except for along this top straight edge. We're gonna trim it down with pinking shears and turn it out. I'll probably give it a blast of heat off camera with my hair dryer because the Decaville, it'll just make it easier. All right, let's do this. I kind of went off a tiny bit right there. I'm just gonna, my lining was messing me up. Let me just trim my lining down here. Just gonna fix that real quick. You kind of want your stitching to be pretty dang nice down here. All right. There we go. I fixed it. I kind of went, so I fixed that. All right, I'm gonna get some pinking shears, trim that down, and we'll turn it out. All right, I'm gonna grab my hairdryer. I'm just going to like open it up like this, blow some heat in there, and then we'll turn it out. It'll just make it easier. Just makes it softer. Easier to turn. Kaboom. I feel like it helps with wrinkles too when you blast it with heat. Your vinyl doesn't wrinkle as much with that Decaville on it. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna get my edges all pushed out really well, and then we will top stitch. I'm not going to put on my thumb lock until the very end because you can add that at the end. But if you see, that's why I put that extra Decaville heavy down here, because my thumb lock is sliding on right there. All right. Okay. I'm just going to put, you know, a couple clips to kind of hold that seam in place. Flap. Oh, that's a pretty flap. She pretty. Okay, let's top stitch. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and just stitch mine shut. Beautiful. And then I will mark my center on this top right edge. Okay, that is my flap, all done. Next step. All right, so I have my front panel, my, what is this, front A piece. I put my nameplate just down here. You could do it on the flap, you could do it on this panel, wherever you want to do it. I'm going to install this part of my thumb lock, the bottom part of my thumb lock. So on the front main piece of the pattern, it has a marking for where to do it. And there it is. I have my washer. Make sure that when you place this in, this bar is towards the top. If you place it and the bar is towards the bottom, it'll be upside down. And people do that all the time. All the time. All right, so I'm going to lay that right there on that marking. And I want the top and the bottom of the washer. I know that just because I made sure that that was the case. All right, and then I'm going to do my markings here and cut those open with a little blade tool. Just like so. And then I am going to get a, maybe, yeah, a little piece of Decaville Heavy to lay behind it. Even though there is foam too, I like to just make sure that these are extra secure. So I'll be putting some heavy behind it here. Beautiful. All right, and then I'm going to make sure I take my silver marking pen up, bars going towards the top, and I will install this. Oh, my cuts may be too small. I need to go through more. Let's try that. There we go. Beautiful. Nice and flat. Put the Decaville behind it here, and then put my washer on. I like to fold my prongs in. That is my personal preference. Do what you must. And then I'm going to cover it. You can either use duct tape. I use this self-adhesive woven, which I like. Up to you. This is really sticky and it is not going anywhere once you put it down, which is why I like it. And it protects those prongs from cutting any of your other material and staying put. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Beautiful. Let's move on. We are going to, I'm going to put my thumb lock piece, my other piece on at the very end. So we'll do it at the end, but let's move on to put our zippers. All right, so let's work on our zippers for this front panel. So I already did one of them. I have it turned at that 90-degree angle there. And then I just sewed over the zipper on the bottom here so my zipper pull doesn't come off. So I'll show you how I did that. So here's my second one. I marked evenly across my zipper a 1/2 inch down. That seems to do this turn perfectly and you don't have a bunch hanging over. So where I put that 1/2 inch mark, I'm going to pinch my tape right there, and I bring that up to meet the teeth at the top. And so it creates that curve going down. I'm going to put a pin. You can burn your edges. I don't have luck with that, but you can try doing that, okay? So again, you take that and we pinch it on that line. And then you bring that up to meet the teeth. All right, I'm going to baste, and then I will also sew across the bottom of the zipper to close that up, and we will assemble this panel. Beautiful. All right, and then I just want to make sure I get all of those little threads melted. And then I'm going to close it up at the base of the zipper here by just sewing over those teeth. Okay, so now I did that twice. I did that one other time already. So I have 2 zippers there. All right, so we're going to start with our main front panel piece. On the pattern piece, you had zipper notch markings here and here. I already transferred those markings, so go ahead and do that. That's where your zipper is starting and stopping. So I'm going to go ahead and use tape. You can clip if you want, but I'm going to start up at that marking and come down along both sides. Okay. And then I'm going to take my first zipper, I'm going to unzip it. And then I want to start where that notch is, right there with my zipper, and bring it down. So my zipper is right side down on my panel piece here. Okay, I'm just going all the way. So your zipper should hang past your panel piece. All right, and I'm going to do the same over here. So you can baste this if you want. I'm just taping. Okay, so that's what I got. I'm going to take another piece of tape and put it along the entire panel now. And we're going to piece the lining on top of it. Did my tape really just do that thing? It sure did. I have another bum piece of tape. All right, so I want to take my other front piece, my front lining piece. We're going to sandwich that on top. And I'm going to tape it down along these 2 zippers. And then we'll sew it down the 2 sides and turn it out. So right sides are together all the way down like that. And I'm going to go ahead and just do the second side here. And then we'll sew. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's what it should look like. And now I'm going to turn it through. right. So now I just want to pull everything out into place, and we're going to top stitch this all the way around. Okay. Here we go. I'm just going to top stitch down both sides of the zipper first before I do the top and bottom. I just think it will maybe look better that way. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. All right, so here is what we are looking at. We've got our zippers put on with this back panel piece. So now we want to add our pocket trim pieces, which are the ones that we mirrored. Okay, so they're this side up. I gotta remember, it goes like this and like this. No, other way. The straight edge. It has kind of a curve on the outside edges, okay? So make sure those are on the outside edges. So now we're going to piece these two pieces with our front pocket B, which is this little piece right here. Okay, so we're gonna piece this and this. Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna lay it right sides together here. And like I said, the edge of it has this kind of, it goes out a tiny bit. That's your outside edge of it. And your inside edge should be straight. We are gonna sew these on at our seam allowance, open it up, and top stitch. Okay, here we go. So we want to open this up with our seam allowance going towards this inside lining piece, and we're top stitching on the lining piece. So Whenever you top stitch, you're usually almost always top stitching through that seam allowance. So make sure it's laying underneath your top stitch. All right. Okay, so this is the back side of, whoops, of this piece. So it should line up pretty dang even. I have just the tiny bit of overlay. It just really depends on how all of your seam allowances are lining up. So I'm just going to make sure my centers are lined up and we'll go out from there. So we're going to lay this piece on top. So right side is up. And I'm just going to start by clipping my top together here and getting that lined up. I'll go to my bottom, make sure that's lined up. Where are my centers? Right there. And I'll just be trimming off this little extra. Okay, so now we're just basting these two pieces together. I'm going to start right here. Beautiful. All right, I'll be trimming these sides down along here, even with my zipper, and then we'll go to the next step in the pattern. Okay, so I am doing the connectors for the backpack just a little bit different, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. This is the same way that Lindsay does her connectors for the Siah Sidekick, I believe. Okay, so I have my square piece. I did a 4x4 square, cut it in half, so I had two triangles. I measured down 1/2 inch from the longest straight edge here, put some double-sided tape, and I'm going to fold that in. I just think out of all the ways I've done backpack connectors, this one might be my favorite, and I think it's pretty dang easy and it looks nice. Okay, so now I have a finished edge here. I'm going to fold that together. All right. And then I'm going to take my triangle connector. I put a 2-inch piece and folded it in half of webbing through that. And I'm just going to slide it right in here where we folded down that edge. So it's hanging out just a little bit. Just like that. Super easy. And it looks really nice when it's done. And then I'm just going to do a double row of top stitching along this piece, and then it'll be done. So I'm doing different connectors and I'm placing them along the sides of the bag instead of the bottom like she has in the pattern. So, and that's just personal preference. It's just the way I like to have my backpacks look. And the way I like it to carry. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. It's the great thing about, you know, making these bags yourself is you can change tiny details like that to your liking. And I just like to do the double row of stitching because then I really know my webbing is nice and secure in there. It's not going anywhere. Okay. And that is going to be my connectors for this bag. Okay, 2 of those. All right, let's go to the next step. Okay, let's head into our back panel. So I have my handle already made. Here's my back panel piece, my center, and then I did my markings for the handle placement on here. I'm gonna baste my handle on first, just along the top here. I don't know, does she have any overhang? No. She doesn't, so I'm not going to. So we're just going to baste this on. And then I just bring it up like that. Make sure it's laying correctly here and it curves around. Beautiful. And then I already have my straps made. I'm going to put them all together with the slider and the hook at the very end. So for now, I'm just going to attach them right here on each side of the handle. I think this time I'm going to lay them just a little bit going out. I think it'll help them hang better when it's all done. So I'm just going to lay it at a slant. Oh, my bobbin was not behaving. I could hear it. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this one at a slant. Just try and eyeball it. You don't have to do that. I feel like it hangs on your back better when they're slanted though. Like that. Okay. Then we're going to get our flap. And we are going to lay our flap on top. You want right sides facing each other. So my right side is going to be facing down. My lining side is up. I'm going to match the centers here up at the top. So your layers get pretty thick. Make sure you have a machine that can handle all the layers you're doing. I'm doing quite a few vinyl and thicker stuff. So obviously my industrial can handle that. But if your machine cannot, then do a lighter weight combination of materials. Okay, so I'm going to sew that on at my full seam allowance. Okay. So after you do that, you're going to get this top panel piece here. I need to mark my center along the bottom. Again, the top side of it kind of curves out, so that's how you know. I'm going to sandwich that right side down, centered on all these pieces. So one more layer of vinyl. It's nice and thick. And now I'm going to sew that at a bigger seam allowance, okay? So that just gives it like a double row of stitching, extra security, all that kind of good stuff. All right, bigger seam allowance here. Did I do the right side? I don't know if I have this facing up right. I think I do. Well, we're going to find out. So I hope that was right. I think it'll be okay. I think I put that on upside down, but it's not that big of a difference. I think I'll be okay. All right. After you have that attached, we want to flip this up like that. Right? Oh, that's if you're using stabilizer. I'm like, what is all of that? Okay. Do I really top stitch it all up? She has you top stitch it with everything laying up like this. Yep. Okay. So we got lots of layers under there. And instead of doing, so she has you put rivets through all this, through all of your straps, I'm just going to do a second row of stitching. I kind of like that look better. It's my preference, so just do whatever you prefer. I'm going to do a second row of stitching. Awesome. And then I'm also going to attach my connectors real quick so I don't forget. Now, I've never made it with these connectors, so I'm guessing on this. I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch up. I probably could go a half. Let's do a half. Okay, I'm going to go a 1/2 inch up and just baste my connectors on. Make sure they're going up if you're doing them this way towards the top of the bag. Beautiful. All right, so that is my back panel, and now we're going to put the exterior together. All right, so we're gonna add the base onto these pieces and then the sides. So I have my base. I just have Decaville Heavy on here. You could probably put foam too. If you do the foam, attaching the sides might be a little bit more work, but I think it would give a nice look. I don't know if my hands can handle it today, so I'm just doing the Decaville Heavy. So find your center. We're gonna clip it on. I've clipped all my centers on this base piece, okay? Sides, all 4 sides, because you're gonna need it for those side panels when we attach those. All right, I'm gonna sew this on at my seam allowance here. My front panel. It doesn't matter which panel you do first, front or back. I don't think it does, in my opinion. Okay, and then I'm going to flip the base piece down and I'm going to top stitch along the base through all of that seam allowance. Okay, so that's what you should be looking at. Now I'm going to add the other side here. Okay. Line up the bottom. All right, sew that on the same way. And then we're going to top stitch, same thing. I'm going to do it this way. And oh, I have some silver markings I need to get rid of there. And here. All right, I'm going to top stitch through the base. Awesome. All right, so there is my main body piece, all in one. Ooh, she pretty. All right, so now I have to attach these side panel pieces. Home stretch, guys. All right, here we go. We're going to now attach our sides to the main body. So you should have this nice big main body piece. And we need to put our sides in. So I need a better angle. Up. And I need it right here. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay, so now we need to put our sides onto the main body piece. Okay. So here is our side piece and it goes on the side here. So I'm going to start by attaching tops and center and then work the rest into that. And I'm just going to do one side at a time, especially when you have kind of a big odd shaped bag like this. It's kind of helpful just to tackle one at a time. You could do a couple of things. You could staple your curves to make sure that none of it moves as you're sewing it. You could baste it first before you sew it at your full seam allowance, which is what I'm going to do. That's kind of my go-to anymore is the basting, and then I'll go at it the whole seam allowance. We do have a zipper on this side that we're getting around. So make sure you have either a skinny foot or a zipper foot on so you can get past that zipper. And just be aware of that when you're sewing up this bag, that you have to get around that zipper. Okay, so there's my, and then I want to do my center here. You may or may not need to cut some little notches in your curve here. I don't think I do with the vinyl I'm using. My vinyl has a tiny bit of a stretch and it goes right around just fine. So I think I'm okay. Depends on the material you're using. Okay, there's that. Now I want to do this side. Should fit pretty nicely right in there. I honestly don't remember if I basted first or not on my first one. Okay, and then I think I'm going to sew. I normally like to sew with this side piece up, so I think that's how I'm going to do it. Yeah, I think I'm going to try doing it without basting first because it seems to fit pretty good. I don't think it's going to slip much. And I'm going to grab my pliers to kind of hold everything in place, and we're going to go for it. All right. All right, here we go. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go a second time around. Didn't really need my pliers so much as maybe just my screwdriver. I'm going to go a second time around just to make sure my stitches don't pull when I turn the bag out. I'm going to start about 1.5 inches down from the top and just go right next to my first row. Just some reinforcement stitches. Okay, first row done, or first side done. I'm going to repeat for the next side. Okay, second side. I'm going to try and sew this one on the opposite way and then kind of see which way was easier for me. So I'm going to do it with the side panel down and go that way. We'll see if it's any easier. Okay, let me look. I mean, I think that one went well too. I would say either way is probably good. All right, I'm gonna go one more time around. I'll do it this way because I'm used to it this way. Right next to it. Okay, I think we're there. I am going to, this is a drop-in lining, so I'll need to do some markings and put some tape around the top. And we'll need to do the drop-in, and then we attach the straps and we're done. Yay! All right, so I have my bag here. I have my line all marked and I have tape to fold it down. I'm gonna fold it down after I turn it out because we'll see if the tape stays. So a lot of the times when you turn it, the fold comes off, the tape comes off, all that stuff. I'm gonna take this to my hairdryer, give it a shot of heat, and then we'll turn this. So I just have my hairdryer right here. Hopefully doing it like that. You're okay, dude. You're okay. All 10, lay down. You're okay. She doesn't like the hairdryer. All right, turning this out. Let's see what we got. All right. That looks pretty good. I like the placement of these. My stitching looks good around the curves. I'm happy with it. Yup, happy with it. All right, so here it is. Oof. Cute. We'll put that thumb lock there, but this is it. All right, so I'm gonna fold this down evenly into the bag. And then I have my lining here all folded down. And we're gonna put the two together. And I'm going to top stitch that together on my cylinder arm. And then we'll put the straps together and we'll be done. All right. You know, I did my line wrong, so I'm kind of eyeballing this drop in. It'll be okay. It gets pretty thick along these front seams here, so keep that in mind. She does have a little suggestion for thinning that out along the front on one part. So do that if you need to. I know my machine can handle it, but if yours can't, keep that in mind, please. Now, could this be done as a birthing bag? I'm not sure because of the way the divider pocket is assembled. Maybe if you didn't do the divider pocket with it, it could be, but this is the only way to go with the divider pocket, okay? All right, so there's that. I want this to be in like this. Look how cute she is. All right, so I'm gonna line up my side seams here. I know I want those, and I am going to get my key fob tool that I love to use to press seams with, and I am just gonna give some of these seams a good squeeze. And that's just gonna help it so easier when I go around. You could always put tape in between these two layers too if you wanted to kind of make sure that they're not going anywhere. It really does help to press. I have noticed. Whether you have an awesome machine that can do it or not, it just helps. And these two are fine. I'll give it a little press. Whoa. Okay. Beautiful. Now, this little pocket here, this side area, you're not going to be able to sew where this zipper tab is, but I can get pretty dang close with my cylinder arm. One of the reasons she has you rivet these sides is to kind of close up that gap, but I don't feel like it needs to be. I like it bigger, so it's totally up to you. So I'm going to get as close as I can to this zipper tab on each side when I top stitch this. So I'll do one half first and then I'll do the second half. Sure, my finger pop. Yikes, man. All right. I like to lay my seams open when I do this. So all of my seams are laying open. This lining is just the coolest lining I've seen in a long time, you guys. It's pretty thick. All right. Isn't that cool? All right, so we're gonna go on this side, fit the rest of this back piece in, and then we'll go to the cylinder. Okay, there she is. Like I said, I'm gonna start in one corner by the zipper tab. I'm gonna go around and stop here, and then I'll start here and go around and stop there. Is she pretty? All right. Okay, here we are at my machine. Let's do it. Oh, there go my scissors. Okay, So I'm going to start as close to up here as I can. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, I'm going to get as close as I can to this other side of the zipper tab, and then I'll stop and I'll do the other side. All right, now look at that, see what we got. Looks good. I went a little bit down on there, but that's okay. It looks good. All right. You see how close I can get with my cylinder arm? It kind of closes up that entire hole right there. So there's no need for that rivet for me because I get so close to that. So it looks good. Caught all my layers. Now we're going to do the other side. Okay, so we'll start on this side and go around. I dropped my piece of vinyl. I need that. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All done. Let me double check it all. It looks good. Caught all my layers. Ooh, she pretty. Okay. So, here she is. What do we need to do? I need to put on my little thumb lock. So, with mine, because I got so close to my zipper tabs, it kind of automatically just folds in. So, I'm not going to rivet. She has you rivet right here and right here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it open like this. I kind of like it more open. I think it's totally up to you what you want to do. So I need to put on my thumb lock and just finish my strap. So we'll do that and then we'll be done. Okay, so I have my flap here. I'm going to mark my center just by kind of eyeballing it here. All right. So right there, give it a little mark. Okay. I'm gonna grab my lock. Super easy. I would highly recommend putting some glue on your screws. You don't want those falling out. So basically all we're doing is sliding this onto the end of our flap. Okay. I like to slide it on, get it centered, and mark my holes, okay? If you wanted to use a stiletto tool and poke through too first, you could do that if you think you're gonna have a hard time getting through your material. Mine's pretty light. I don't think I'll have a hard time. I just like to put one dab of glue on the end of my screw. So I use this Loctite. And my Loctite has like a little hole in it where it shouldn't. So I've learned just to dab it. I just do the smallest of dabs, okay? And then I'm gonna get this on there. I've got it marked so I know where to go. And screw it in. Easy. Seriously, such an easy install. There's one. Do the same to the other side and you're done. And then we'll do our straps. I'm going to rivet my strap hardware on. So I'll kind of clip it all into place and show you, and then I'll probably rivet it off camera. And then that's it. And then we're done. Okay, both screws are on. To wipe off any extra glue if there is any, and then make sure it fits. Hey, she's cute. All right, so my hardware straps here. All I do is I'm going to slide on my adjuster here, up and over. Okay, and then this gets looped on, and then you put this up and through your adjuster. So I go up, kind of away from me, and then back down. Just like that, okay? I'm gonna rivet that in place, and then we're done. Okay, we're all done. Here she is. Cute, right? All done. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial for the Penelope backpack by AllSewPetite. I hope you guys love it. I think it is an amazing pattern. It teaches you so many cool new things, especially you guys. This lining, I mean, if you just buy the pattern for the lining itself, it's totally worth it. Okay, let me know if you guys have any comments, questions. I will try and answer them. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Help me out a lot. And I hope you all have a fabulous day. Thank you for watching. Bye.